The Radio Forest Podcast.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing really good. How are you today?
I'm doing great.
We've got quite a few things in common. Are you ready? Both grew up in a trailer.
All right.
Did you ever upgrade to the double wide? Were you ever like that big of a high roller?
Oh, no. I mean, a double wide is practically like living in a house. When people tell me they grew up in a trailer, but it was a double wide, I'm like, oh, you lived in a house.
Yeah, exactly. Our single wide, I remember it was kind of like on a slope. So the front door was no problem. It was ground level, but it sloped down in the back. And we were so poor, we couldn't afford stairs. But as a kid, that was awesome. You'd open that side door and just like dive out of the house.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that. You know, we always had steps. We had steps on the front porch, but then we had a stack of cement block for the back.
Nobody ever had the back stairs. You could afford the front stairs, and it wasn't a deck. It was just a couple of stairs.
I remember people not having stairs in the back, though. I mean, it was wild. That you just open that door to pee out of,
yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. That's true. We both eat the entire apple, core and all.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know many people that do that, but I've learned to just eat the apple, and if you just eat straight through, you don't even think about the core.
No, I always say I eat an apple like Sarah Jessica Parker, just the whole thing.
I watched a movie called K-Pax, and it was about...
he's an alien, right?
The guy.
Yeah.
He got in trouble, and he was an alien. He was eating the fruit, and he was acting like he didn't know how we eat it. And I remember watching him eat an apple like that, and I was like, oh, I can do that.
It's not that bad. Some apples get a little bit more rough at the core. Now, I won't do it in like a group of people that I don't know, and they're like, what a weirdo. But by myself, oh, totally. I'll eat the whole core.
Oh, I ate 2 pears on a plane this weekend all the way through.
Oh, yeah, the pear core is nothing compared to the apple. They're actually kind of delicious.
Oh, yeah.
We both have dipped and smoked and switched back and forth. If your lungs hurt, you go back to the dip. Your lips are so cut up, you go back to smoking.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got to switch it up. You know, you don't want your body to go through too much abuse, but you can't quit, you know. I used to get lectured by people at the gas station about dip. I'd go, let me get a can of that Skoal. And they're like, you know, that stuff's going to rot your lip out. And I'm like, okay, well, let me get the cigarette.
And we both quit drinking. Congratulations. It's been quite a few years for you, right?
Yeah, 10 years for me.
Wow, congratulations, man.
Yeah, thank you. Congrats to you, too. How long for you?
You know, I'm going to be coming up on 20 years. It's been so long now, like I don't really keep track anymore. I've been sober longer than I drank.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. It just feels good not to drink. I mean, I never discourage people from drinking because, you know,
oh, it's a blast.
People can handle it better than me.
Yeah, I always say I ruined a good time for myself. I don't have a problem with anybody else. I had to get out of the party early, unfortunately for me, because I loved it. It just caused a lot of issues.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. I would work the day shift when I waited tables, and we would get off and we would all go to happy hour, and then I would just stay out until the next shift of people I worked with got off. I would just party all day.
That's awesome. Last thing in common, we both know comedian Josh Wolf.
All right. Yes, I do know Josh Wolf.
Yeah, I don't know him that well. I mean, I've just had him on the show one time, but we chatted for quite a long time. What a great dude. And I should probably say Dusty Slay, who we're talking to, show on Netflix. He's on the Standups. It's on season 3. He's on there with Mark Norman and a bunch of other comedians. It's really good. I love how it's filmed. I love the jokes, and I love that show too.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, I feel really good about what I put together. I like the lineup that I did, and when you film a thing like that, it's like you pick jokes and you just hope that audience will like them. And they did. Because if you're doing a regular live show and something's not going well, you just switch to something else. But when you're taping, you got to do what you've decided to do no matter what.
And can I say I really appreciate, I think there probably are people that can do it. And in the show, there are a couple of people that touch on stuff like this. But I think you tastefully didn't discuss the presidency or COVID or even the lockdown. But it didn't seem like you were avoiding it. You just did jokes about life and your experiences, which I really appreciated. It was like a nice break to not think about like, oh, I got to try to be, what are people talking about today? Let me open the paper. And sometimes it just feels a little too, I don't know how to describe it, but I'm not as interested sometimes, if that makes sense.
Well, thank you. I like to not do current event topics because I always feel like if it's a current event, that joke is only going to exist for so long and then it's gone. But I like to try to write like a timeless joke that I could do forever. It would never like go out. Now, I have a couple of COVID jokes in my live show now, but they're just innocent, fun COVID jokes, nothing crazy. But yeah, I don't like to get into politics. My take is no matter what side you're on, you're going to upset the other side. And I think, why divide the audience? I like to do a nice distraction comedy is what I like to call it. And I like to be relatively clean. You know, I mean, I wouldn't say that it's clean, but it's pretty clean. And I like to say that, you know, I got the kind of comedy that you could take your aunt to and not be embarrassed.
I know you get a lot of comments about your looks. I'm going to run down some looks that people say you look like, and you tell me if you've heard these or not. I'm sure you've probably heard them all. Well, let's describe your look real quick. You've got long hair, trucker hat, big glasses, and people love to comment on your looks. One I saw, they said that Dusty Slay looks like Bobcat Goldthwait before the crack and hatred.
Yeah. I mean, I'm working on a video right now about all these comments, so I've definitely seen most of them, and I saw that one the other day.
Jonathan Davis, if you never joined Korn.
Yeah.
Jimmy Fallon in a wig.
Yeah, I get that every time I do his show.
Kid Rock, but I think that's just the hair. I don't think you guys' faces are similar.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I do get that, though. You know, Kid Rock's got the trailer park vibe. Better hair than Kid Rock, though, I'll say that.
I think you totally could be a younger Travis Tritt.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that a couple of times. I think one of them was like Travis Tritt if he decided to smoke weed.
Yeah, there you go.
I love Travis Tritt. He's got that video Country Club where he's got the bandana around his neck. That's how I rolled during COVID, with the bandana.
You've met quite a few country stars, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've done the Opry a bit. I was supposed to open for Trace Adkins not too long ago, but then we were doing an outdoor fair, and it got rained out. So we just sat on his tour bus and talked for a while. I met Charlie Daniels before he passed, and I got to do Charlie Daniels Jam at the Bridgestone Arena where the Predators play here in Nashville. I followed Big and Rich, Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy, and I thought that it would be awful, and it was great.
Music, then comedy, and it went pretty well?
Yeah, I mean, I was the only comedian on a huge lineup of musicians, and it went really well. I do the Opry a bunch, so I'm used to doing that, but the Opry is different than an arena. An arena is a beast of a place. I opened for the band Alabama in an arena, and it's like 6,000 people. You tell a joke, and it takes a second for it to hit the audience and then the laugh to come back at you. So you almost have to go a bit slower.
What about then doing TV like Fallon, or what's the timing on that? Is there anything different with the cameras or the crowd that's there?
Doing late night is weird because you practice a set, you work on a set, and you decide what you're going to do, and then you go on and you tape live. So if a joke doesn't go well, it could have gone well every single show leading up to this. But you go on there, and if it doesn't go well, you just got to move on. You don't get to comment on it. You don't get to switch it up. You just got to move on. And I feel like that happens to me at least once every time when I do The Tonight Show.
You might not get comedy fans watching that. They just might want to see, like, oh, I love Jimmy Kimmel. I want to see him in person. And then they're like, who's this guy? I don't want to see comedy. So, A, you might not get comedy fans, and you might not get Dusty Slay fans. Now, maybe you can convert them, but your jokes might be killing to the people watching at home. But this is the wrong crowd for me.
Right. When I work the road practicing these jokes, and then you go, and it's probably not all New York City people in there, but yeah, I mean, they're, for the most part, I always feel like when I'm in New York doing comedy that I feel like people are not going to relate to what I'm doing. But the Netflix was filmed in New York City, and it went great.
Are those filmed in the same day? Is it the same crowd? I didn't notice enough if it's the same people. Is that just one club and it's a lineup, or they're like, we'll film on a couple of different days for the show itself as the different episodes? 3
comics did one night and 3 comics did the next night. And then we did 2 shows each. You get basically a practice run, and then you get, I mean, if the practice run went so well, I think they used the second show. But my first show went so well that I thought, okay, no matter what, they can use that one. I just was a lot more relaxed on the second show.
Let me go back to your late night performances real quick because I got to be honest. I did some snooping looking for negative comments. You really don't get any, to be honest with you. It stands out to me that there are none because if you're in the public eye, there's just people are going to not like what you do. On your page, that would be different. But on like Jimmy Fallon on the YouTube page of your performance, they all love you. And so that's pretty freaking amazing. In 2022, with the internet, with people love to throw some crap at you. You've got to put in some work for that for sure. I've noticed you're really well versed and seems like pretty close and open with your fans. They feel like you're their buddy.
Well, yeah, I just appreciate people watching and people taking the time to comment. I do get some negative ones here and there, but yeah, overwhelmingly, I don't get a lot of negative comments, and I think that is because I just try to focus on being funny and not on spreading some kind of message or belief. I just try to do comedy. I think just people appreciate that.
Percentage-wise, you've got to be one of the higher comedians as far as negative comments. So congratulations, man.
Well,
that's really cool to see.
Thank you. And that's what I hate about them taking the downvote away on YouTube. It's just like, now I can't see the ratio. I liked being able to see the ratio because it was usually pretty good for me.
I saw Neil Brennan tagged you, use one of your jokes from the special. That's got to be pretty cool. Of course, he's like the co-writer and co-creator of The Chappelle Show. So he used your, I think he reposted your country music joke.
Yeah, that was really great. Actually, he texted me. We're not even friends. I guess he found my number and texted me and to tell me what a great show I had.
That's awesome, man. And that's a completely different kind of humor. Like you talk about the cleanliness and the kind of the topics that you do, The Chappelle Show. But that's like a whole different beast.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's really awesome.
Are you on the road? What's the status right now?
Well, my calendar is full. I got dates all of 2022. DustySlade.com is where you can find all that. I am going to be on the road.
And where can people get that Dusty Slade trucker hat? It's not like the Von Dutch trucker hat lookalike. These are like legitimate hats that truckers wore when I was a kid.
It is for sale, but thanks to Netflix, I am currently sold out. My store got hit up, but I do have some on the way.
Standups Season 3. It's Dusty Slade, comedian. Thanks for the time today, Dusty. I appreciate the call, and I love the new Season 3.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.